Hello, what's going on, everybody? This is Snoman. Welcome to another brand new snoCast, the very first one of 2016. I hope you're excited for a brand new year of games and YouTube channels and videos and all kinds of stuff, but I'm joined with two very special guests that are kicking off the new year with me. I'm joined by CrayTrey and BladedSK. Welcome, guys. What's going on?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing fun, man.
Glad you're doing well.
Yeah. Start off the new year already with a bang.
Yeah, well, that's the idea. I mean, obviously, if you see the title, you know we're going to talk about some anticipated games for the new year, and we will get into that. But as always, I always want to start us off with giving our guests a chance to talk about what they do on the YouTube scene so we can check them out. So let's begin there. CrayTrey, why don't you tell us about what you do?
Well, hey, Snow, thanks for having me on the snoCast. It's been great. I do videos on sort of pottery, just kind of different sets of pots and how to plant and make ceramic pots.
It's kind of an untapped market, I think.
It is an untapped market. I think we should invest
scene.
in that. Yeah, just paint little Pikmin on them, I do a channel called CrayTrey. That's my name on the YouTubes, and I do videos. I used to do like more kind of regular gaming videos, but I'm going into more scripted skits and parody kind of skits, and also going into more like analytical videos as far as the story and the sort of the cinematic aspects of video games, which I find really interesting. I kind of just do a whole bunch of stuff on there, and I haven't done a video in a while, so I need to get on that after this, honestly. But yeah, I mean, it's been 3 months. I think Perry said, like, after 3 months, you might as well just shut up your channel, and I'm like, oh, crap.
Ooh,
that's
pack it up and go home, man. Yeah,
pack it up and go home.
Man.
Yeah. But yeah, just it's CrayTrey on the YouTubes, and that's my channel. If you guys want to check it out,
you're kind of a movie buff too, right? So what I like about Trey is, there's like kind of it is more movie cinematic, like skit type things. You kind of tie that into gaming, and I like that too.
Yeah, I've always loved movies. I went to school for film, which really doesn't mean anything. But no, I mean, yeah, and that was kind of what brought me back into video games, was seeing that, hey, these have the same possibilities as film does. These have the same, story. They can tell the same stories and have the same feel and look and grandeur as movies do, but you actually get to interact with video games as opposed to movies. So that's kind of what brought me in. So I love to focus on that kind of stuff.
Very, very cool. I'm excited to finally have you
awesome.
on the cast. Trey is a good podcaster. At least that's what I hear.
Thanks again. Well, I'm not really. I tend to talk over people and mumble, so I don't know how good of a podcaster I am.
I guess we'll find out. But our second guest today is Mr. BladedSK, another fine gentleman that I've come across in my YouTube time. Bladed, tell us about what you do on YouTube.
Yeah, what I do on YouTube is not too spectacularly unique. I do reviews. I used to do Let's Plays a lot. I'm pretty much put that to a full stop, but mainly what I'm doing right now is doing reviews. I'm doing analytics when it comes to video games and how they're designed, but I'm more looking into the art aspect of gaming. So that's something to look forward to. But
awesome.
As for right now, yeah, I just do the basic analytics and reviews.
Yeah, and the more scripted stuff from Bladed is really good. I always was really impressed. They're good stuff you got to check out. Both are very awesome dudes. Just if you get to know them, they're really cool guys. So I'm very excited to have them on. And I kind of want to do a little bit more of this, like, more than one guest type thing. I'd like having, two guests or maybe a little more, get some variety and different ideas. So hopefully you'll see more stuff like this in the future. So our topic is, anticipated games of 2016. It's looking to gear up like it's going to be a pretty jam-packed year full of awesome new games. But to start off, just really quickly, why don't you guys tell me your favorite games of 2015, if you had any?
Well, I spent a lot of time with Fallout 4, almost too much time. I really like the game, but I burn out so quick on it. Mm-hmm. I platinumed it on a PS4, and I really enjoy playing it. It's gonna be weird. Like this whole last year was me playing Metal Gear, but not that far into it. Like I'm still on the third one, and I've played a bit of Metal Gear 5, The Phantom Pain, and man, I can't call it Game of the Year because I've not played a lot of it. But what I have played, I think if I put 30 hours in it, it might be my Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Also want to give a shout out to Rocket League, which is just fun as hell.
Yeah, good time. A good time.
Mm-hmm.
I just started playing Fallout 4 this year, actually. I didn't play it last year, but I started it this year, and I'm really loving it, too. I kind of wish that I had time to play it before, because I probably would have put it on my list. But, whatever.
It's really fun, and it's, it just looks a lot better than Fallout 3, which, people say the graphics suck, but it looks, just the style of it, like Diamond City and a lot of these other places are just really, really cool.
Yeah. I've loved it so far, and I do kind of like the upgrades and new things they bring.
Yeah.
Bladed, what about you, my friend?
I haven't really played big AAA games. The only one I would have really played is Fallout 4, and that was a great game. But I think really what takes the cake for me is games like Ori and the Blind Forest. That's been introduced to me in that year, and
I like that
Undertale.
game.
I still need to play it.
Oh man, the shenanigans.
You haven't played either of them, have you, Trey?
No. I need to play Ori. Because I don't have a gaming PC. I don't have an Xbox One. But it looks fun. Like it looks great from what I see.
Yeah, both are great games. I love both of those.
Yeah,
very good. Ori is just so
shout
solid.
out for Until Dawn too.
Yeah. Ori is like I always say, like, I'm a sucker for music in games. So if a game has like great music, maybe if it's not the best gameplay, I'll probably still get sucked in. But Ori just all around was a great experience. The gameplay was tight. The art was breathtaking, and the music was, complements the art.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I had a blast with it.
I agree. I'm kind of a broken record about it at this point, but I agree wholeheartedly. Ori as well.
I think a lot of people really like it.
It was really a pleasant surprise, because I didn't think I would like it as much as I did, but it really stuck with me.
Yeah, if it wasn't for this like YouTube community, I would have never found Ori. So
that's true. Yeah, I hadn't heard of it either until other YouTubers were talking about it too. So same. I'm surprised I didn't hear about it, but I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
Well, on to 2016. I don't know about you guys, but
screw those games.
Yeah, we're moving on.
Screw 2015 games.
They're old news.
Who cares?
I had to go look up lists. I don't know about you guys, but I had to go look up, like countdown lists of games coming out, because I know there were some but I wanted to expand my list a little bit. So I have some ones to talk about, but whoever, I guess, why don't we start with you, Trey, and then we'll kind of go around, and then Bladed and me, and we'll just kind of list off some ones that we're looking forward to in 2016. So why don't you kick us off, Trey?
Yeah.
Well, I got a kind of an order here, and then I don't, because there's only like a few up till like May that have release dates.
Yeah, so, a lot of them are still to be determined. Yeah.
Let me just knock out, I guess, 3. I don't know if you guys are interested in The Witness, coming January 26th by John Blow. What do you know?
Yep.
The guy who did Braid. I don't know if you guys are interested in that. In that at all? Yeah.
Yes, that was on my list as well.
Okay. You guys played? Do you have anything to say about it? Oh, why you're excited? I just know it's a big title.
Right. So Braid was a big one that I played way back in the day. It's one of my favorites. Always really enjoyed that. And after watching Indie Game the movie, Jonathan Blow's kind of been a cool guy on my radar. The thing about
he was probably the most. The weird thing is he's probably the most down to earth guy in that movie.
Oh yeah,
maybe him and the guy who did Super Meat Boy with all the tattoos are like the most down to earth guys in that movie.
He is. He seems very chill, and he's like he's a lot older than most game developers.
Yeah.
The thing about The Witness is, it's the soonest to come out. It's coming out the end of this month. But it's been in development for years and years. It's been on people's radar for like 5 years. This has been worked on for a long time.
I think
I've heard it's had a...
Sorry, go ahead, Bladed.
No, I swear to God, you're going to hear this, because I love Bladed, but I swear to God, like, we have the worst chemistry as far as talking. It is the best.
We always talk over each other.
Always. So if you guys don't like awkward, podcasts, then this isn't the podcast for
That's
you.
what it's all about, man. 2016 is a new year, the year of awkward pauses.
New year of awkward pauses, and 5-second pause followed by talking over each other. That's what it is. Anyway, go on, Blaine. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Bladed. Go ahead.
I think like the idea is like John Blow's like record is that he would develop the game first, the coding, and then that would be like one of the hardest things to be doing in a game development step, because then the art assets come afterwards, and if the art asset and the coding isn't really like lined up together, then the process almost like doubles, because you'd have to like make these like essentially these placeholders, and then out of nowhere, if someone wants to do art for them, you have to replace all those placeholders almost like but key by key in like animations and stuff like that, and like redo the entire world, especially if you want to make it look as pretty as like Braid did. So
yeah,
that might have like been the reason why it took so long to like create a game like that. But I'm excited for it, man.
Yeah, it's interesting because what we've seen so far about it is it kind of all looks the same, at least so far. Like in trailers, the things that I always remember are just like these puzzles, and it's just like little line puzzles, and you go through a maze and try to reach the end, and it shows that over and over again, and like just a beautiful island looking thing. And that's kind of all we know about it, and that's probably on purpose, but it is interesting because there isn't a whole lot other than that draws me in.
Yeah. Just like his track record as a developer.
Mm-hmm, the pedigree.
Right. Yeah, by reputation, I think I'm interested. Mm-hmm. And I follow him on Twitter, and he would like update every once in a while how many puzzles are in the game. And so just like randomly he'll tweet, he's like, puzzle count up to, and it's a ton. It's like 20,000 puzzles or something ridiculous.
Oh, jeez.
I don't even understand how that's possible, but like he'd be like, puzzle count up to 15,000 or something like that.
It's supposed to be a really hard game too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With that many puzzles, I can see why.
Oh yeah.
Right. So there's just not a lot about it still, even though it comes out this month, but I am interested for sure.
Yeah.
Also, February. Oh, I've got like 3 on February 9th here. Firewatch. That's actually probably, if I had to make a top 10, that would be on my top 10 list. Firewatch. Coming out on the 9th of February.
Tell me about Firewatch. I don't know about that.
It's this this indie game. I guess that's kind of a blank term. I don't know. It's about this park ranger, and it's done in this very beautiful watercolor kind of cartoon. Not cartoon, but it's done in a very unique style, and it's pretty much this park ranger who in the 1960s in Yosemite National Park, I think it's Yosemite, he just got divorced, and he's talking to his boss over the microphone, and it's this girl, and he notices something out there in the forest, and he has to go inspect it, and it's pretty much from what I hear, like I think it's supposed to be sort of a kind of relationship thing between him and his boss, where you can pick what he says, and you can you can kind of determine how that relationship's going to go. And it's also sort of what I've heard is almost a Metroidvania / BioShock kind of non-combat game, because you can,
cool.
From what I've seen in the trailers, you can like explore the park, and you can go in tunnels and caves and whatnot. So I mean, it looks really good. It's been, I think it was in the last 2 E3s, they've had previews of it, and I've been waiting for that for a while. Firewatch.
I'm surprised I haven't heard of it, but it looks cool. It sounds cool.
Oh yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's just a beautiful art style. It looks like a painting,
yeah.
And it's it's 3D world, but it's really beautiful. That's a game I'm really looking forward to, and that's coming out February 9th.
So that's soon as well.
Mm-hmm.
Bladed, what about you?
I'm a big sucker for Zelda games, so I'm actually still waiting on Zelda U.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's been pushed back, like from 2015 to 2016. So I'm I'm hoping that pushback, benefited the game, that the hype for it isn't unjust. And I'm not trying to overhype the game, but I'm waiting to see, what new things they did with it, and if the new things actually make a difference or make Zelda a little broken or not fun anymore. But
and we still
just
don't have a date on it, right? Like that's
no,
it's still
that is to be determined. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those ones
2016.
That, yeah, if it gets pushed back to 2017, man,
I don't think it will.
I wonder how everybody will react, because people were mad just with the 2016 push.
I think,
which I don't understand.
I think they pushed it back because it's gonna be the Twilight Princess treatment, where it's gonna be on both the Wii U and NX. That's just my theory.
It would make sense, I think.
Yeah. Because I think Miyamoto, I don't know if it was Miyamoto or someone said that the problem, might have even been Reggie, the problem with the Wii U launch was there wasn't enough launch titles. So I think they're probably going to put, Zelda, a new 3D Mario, and a Metroid Prime kind of game for the launch of the NX. Going to give it to you.
I can see that. I think it's mainly, I would say that'd probably be the deal, because they haven't come out with a lot of really big main title games for Metroid, Zelda yet, and Mario's got a few main games already, but these games that people have been asking for a long time, maybe the launch titles for the next system.
Yeah, I think Zelda is going to be in a kind of a weird situation because they're going open world, which Zelda games have always been somewhat, not really open world, but somewhat open world, but not in the scope they're talking about.
Yeah, it's like the linear version of an open world. You got this big empty world that you can explore, but there's not really much to explore in it. There might be some few secrets here and there, but that mainly you're trying to get from point A.
Yes, exactly.
You got to get to point A to point B, but just in a big maze-like area.
And I think they're going to be in a predicament where we have all these open world games like The Witcher and Skyrim and Far Cry and Fallout and everything that came out last year, or the last few years, that have done open world so well. That can Nintendo, who's not really, I guess Xenoblade, they did that, but can they not? They've not really done an open world game like that. Can they, make a open world game that is equal or surpasses those open world games we've already played? Is it going to be will it be Nintendo, hey, this is our open world game, and it'll feel like, we've seen this before? Or because, Zelda's always had those very charming, side quests, and, you gotta talk to the shopkeeper at this time, at this day, and otherwise you'll totally miss it. And they've always had stuff like that, and I mean that's a very familiar trope, and not a trope, but a thing in open world games. So I don't know, I'm really, really anxious to see how they're going to do it, how it's going to be different at all. And
it's hard too, because Zelda fans are hard to please. I feel like a lot of them are, they want to see innovation. They want to see new in Zelda. But if you do try to switch it up, what is this? This isn't our Zelda we know and love.
Yeah.
So if they do go open world, people will be like, well, this is too weird, too different. But, I would like to see what they're able to do, especially if they do have a new console that's a bit more able to do things. I don't know. I am excited for it, though, definitely.
Yeah, I think mainly it's just people have complained even since the beginning of the Zelda becoming more linear, is that the very first Zelda it did not hold your hand whatsoever. It gave you hints maybe to where to go, but you can explore the world at your leisure, and the game was relentless if you decided to go a path that maybe you weren't fit for. And I think that's what they want to do with the new Zelda. I think that's mainly what people have been complaining about. But to see that in a 3D game, a 3D Zelda game, I would love to see how they work with that, because like Trey said, there's a lot of great open world games, and there's a lot of great RPG games that kind of like almost perfected the formula that the first Zelda did, like Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting to see how Zelda, like how Miyamoto, how the team over there at Nintendo decide, like, okay, how can we create a game that is like equal and more competitive, like, to the market that's already out there, but innovates to the point that, first, it's still a Zelda game, and second, that it's a Zelda game worth buying maybe a new system for or buying the Wii U for.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see, definitely.
I'm hoping it's going to be good. I'm a big Zelda fan, so
I think it'll be good.
There's going to be a biases.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
think it'll be good. But
yeah, one of those weird things where it's hard to know who's going to be happy with it and stuff. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. Two games that I'm looking forward to that are similar in some ways. One is Yooka-Laylee, which I want to talk about in a second.
All right.
But Hat in Time also, which Hat in Time kind of falls in the Witness category for me because it's also been in development forever. The original launch window of Hat in Time was supposed to be like Q2 2014. Oh, wow. So it's exceptionally been overdeveloped. Things are taking longer than they anticipated. And I'm all about them perfecting a game and making it better and better. But I'm worried that hype is lessening more and more, especially because they've released the alpha and they've released the beta. So people already know what they've seen in that. And so is it really going to be as great as people were hoping it could be? And especially because we don't have a date for it yet. We still don't have a final date. So Hat in Time, we still don't even know if it's going to be released this year. It might be pushed back again into next year. So I'm still excited. I love the concept. I'm all about, collectathons. So I'm excited for that, and it looks beautiful, but I'm worried about it at the same time. Now, that being said... Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just about to say, the whole development process. I've heard about Hat in Time maybe at the near end of 2015, so I haven't been waiting for as long as maybe some people have, but the game definitely has a slow developing cycle because I was able to follow maybe their processes from all the way back from when they started, and I'm looking forward to it. But it does look like a really great game. I haven't heard a lot about it, even though the beta and alpha has been out. So I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign that maybe the game isn't as exceptional as people were hoping for.
I think they have a smaller development team, and developing in 3D is just so much harder than 2D. So I think it took longer than they were originally thinking it would.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What I was gonna say, in the same vein though, of it may get pushed back. I don't know about Yooka-Laylee because the launch window of Yooka-Laylee is October of this year, and this game was only announced, less than a year ago. Probably 6 to 9 months ago.
Yeah,
that's really short for if they're gonna make a stellar game that a lot of people are hoping it's gonna be. October seems really soon to me.
Yeah, I can totally see that game being pushed.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think that game might be coming out on the launch date that it was originally announced, because I think that date was made pretty much as soon as the Kickstarter was made, and I'm not sure if anybody would have thought it was going to be as successful and as big as it was going to be.
Yeah, they added on a bunch of stretch goals and all that.
Oh yeah, they added a bunch of stuff, a bunch of content, the transformations, the rail carts, the expanding of worlds. So I'm not sure if the original
version. I love that.
Yeah.
I think that was a hard drive, a flash drive. That was really
That's
cool.
so cool.
But they also have the N64 mode where it's 64-bit graphics.
So cool.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I didn't know about that one.
I'm very, very excited for it. But I could see it easily getting pushed to next year, and I'm totally okay with that because I want Rare to make, the team that was Rare to make a game that they're proud of, not something that's been rushed out the door. And I trust them with that. I have a lot of years of trust with them from games in the past, and so I trust that they'll know the quality.
They definitely have a good track record with when it comes to really cool, innovative, goofy games. And I think I think being the developing team that they are, they have a great like record of like making these awesome games that are fun, innovative, and like just an absolute joy to play. So I don't doubt that at least you can get some fun out of it.
Yeah. I think we need more of those games. Those 3D platformers, like Grow Home was such a that's another game I should have mentioned in the earlier discussion. Like that was such a great game, and I'd love to see more of those kind of 3D platformers done nowadays. You know, they're really just fun games.
I'm glad to see the resurgence of it. I think a lot of people miss them and they want to see more of them. And, you know, like Mario Galaxy type games are still kind of carrying it a little bit, but I mean, that's been a while since we've seen one like that. So I think people are excited to see it come back.
Yeah, it's kind of like sad to see like a genre like not being able to be like fully mastered. Like there's a huge amount of genre in games that have been like popular for so long that there's almost like a science to how they're created and like how everything kind of works. So there's very little wonkiness to the controls, the very little like glitches when it comes to that. And I think 3D platforms have a bad rep of like having really awkward controls and really like tedious like factors to them. But I feel like if it kept going a little bit farther, somebody would have found a way to do it really well. And I'm hoping that maybe this revival will allow for the genre to evolve to the next stage.
That's a really good point. Yeah, I remember seeing a Kickstarter a while back for the guy that made La Mulana. I don't know if you guys know La Mulana. It's like a 2D kind of like a 2D Metroidvania Dark Souls game. Anyway, he kickstarted La Mulana 2, and he basically was saying, I still think we have a ways to go before we perfect the 2D platformer genre. And he said, I want to take 2D platforming to its limits. So my point being, what you're saying about 3D platformers, I think you're absolutely right. We still have so much more to go to see that genre perfected, you know?
Yeah.
There's a lot more that can still be realized. So.
Yeah, and I think like once we get it over, if these games become successful and the 3D genre comes into the radar of these big developers, maybe even AAA companies, how much more like interesting innovations like the genre can like push, and like more creative games being pushed into the market now, and kind of like almost I wouldn't say revolution, but like this involving of like games in general. Like if like 3D platformers can be perfected to a point, can that be put into other genres? Can that type of control, can that type of movement, can that type of like environment, can that work in a different genre?
Yeah. Trey, what about you? What are some other ones you're looking forward to?
Oh man, there's a list here I got in front of me. Maybe I should just start going on ones that I'm really excited for. Let's go. I'm just gonna go with this one right now. Uncharted 4: A Thief's End.
Yeah.
Game of the year 2016. Go home. Uncharted was one of those games like that really got me back a few years ago into playing video games. I just love the scope, the story, the set pieces. The gameplay is really fun, though. There's something I get tired of the puzzles a little bit in those games.
Yeah.
But man, I love Uncharted. It's probably one of my favorite franchises in video games. Uncharted 4 looks awesome. It's supposed to be the last one. I think it really will be. I've been waiting. This game, I'm just really excited. Like, this is the kind of game I'm really excited for this year. Just because I love Uncharted so much. I love Naughty Dog so much.
Is it PS4 exclusive?
Yes, PS4 exclusive. No dirty PC, nothing. Just PS4. All you dirty PCers out there.
I only played Uncharted 1, 2, and 3 because my roommate at the time had a PS3, so I had a chance to play through them. And I loved them. I know I talked to you about it before, Trey, but like 2 and 3 are just phenomenal. They're so good. Just really well done games. So I'm excited for it as well.
Yeah, 3 I think is my favorite. The whole scene in the desert was just like, wow, this is a movie. I'm watching a movie. I'm playing a movie. Yeah. And that's a negative to a lot of people. A whole lot of people. I think Naughty Dog really does a good job. Though I think Jolly might disagree. I know he doesn't like Last of Us that much. But but I think they do a really good job of mixing cinematics with gameplay, and they make it very charming and very fun and enjoyable, and they just do it. There's a lot of people that try to do it now. They put story and cinematics into video games. It just doesn't work. But for some reason, Naughty Dog just does it. Like, I remember playing it before I even knew what Uncharted was. I remember playing Uncharted 3 a demo, and I was just smiling with the dialogue. I'm like just the back and forth between Nate and Sully. I'm just like, man, this is like really well written, and I don't know. I'm just really excited for the game. I hope it delivers. I think, it might be one of those things where we get really excited for it and it comes out and it's just like, oh, okay. I really hope it's not, but I could definitely see it being that. I mean, we've had a lot of that probably last year. The consensus, I think, of things like, a lot of people going, oh, I'm really excited for this. And then after, oh, I guess that wasn't that great. Like Arkham City and Metal Gear for a lot of people. And a lot of those games that come out, and Fallout 4, they're hyped up. And then, oh, no, it was all right. So I could see that happening with The Thief's End, but I hope not. I'm really excited for it. And I'll be championing it either way. So,
yeah.
Blade, are you interested at all in Uncharted?
I've actually never played an Uncharted game.
All right.
My roommate actually has the collection, so he has 1, 2, 3, and he got it with the PS4. So I might actually give it a try. I've heard a lot of really good things with Uncharted, so that's probably a game I can go back to and probably find out what the hype's about.
Yeah, like totally. They released the Uncharted Nathan Drake collection in the fragrance on the PS4, and it's a good way to get back into those.
Yeah, Trey's right about it being cinematic. Like, they just capture that so well. If it does feel like you're in a crazy like James Bond action scene, but you're playing it, and they capture it really well.
Yeah, and it's not a lot of quick time events. Like, I mean, there are, but there definitely are. But like, it's not. That's not how they do the action. You know what I mean? Like, you're interacting with the action.
Yeah.
That's definitely what I'm excited for.
It's definitely like
Let's know
are you guys? Oh, sorry, Blade. Yeah.
What was that?
Oh, I was gonna say, are you guys interested in Mighty Number 9?
No.
No,
not
at all.
I was about to say, like, I was about to put it on my list, and it was solely for the reasons, like, I want to see if this is going to ruin Kickstarter for the rest of, like, Kickstarter's lifespan.
Yeah.
Because this game was, like, overhyped to oblivion, and this game has, like, such a bad reputation of, like, not updating their Kickstarter fans, not updating anything up to, like, the last minute, and, like, even what they released, like gameplay videos and stuff like that, they're not spectacular. So this might end up ruining like Kickstarter for everybody else if it turns out bad. If it turns out all right, then cool. But if it turns out like as bad as people might be expecting,
it's been a botch. Definitely, it's been bad.
At the very least, for like gaming, like for everything else, maybe it'll continue.
But I think with every Mighty Number 9, you have a Shovel Knight. There's still good games coming from Kickstarter campaigns. But yeah, I can see what you're saying. Like, it'll definitely be a bad mark on their ledger.
It's interesting to me because I didn't catch it during the funding, so I've only seen things since, and I've been like, wow, this looks awful. And even when I go back and look at the thing they showed originally, I was like, man, this looks terrible. But I believe people that at the time the hype was real. It's like, oh, we definitely want this. Like the screenshots is what everyone was saying. They just had screenshots and they looked amazing. People were all on board.
Was it one of like the first like revivals of old games kind of thing, like the old like how like developers kind of like skewed off maybe the genre, and then there was like, oh, we want to make this game how it should have been made the first time. Was it one of the first ones or was it the first one to do that?
It was definitely one of the first ones.
One of, and I think it's also just the fact that Mega Man kind of has been neglected. Like, they did Mega Man 9 and 10, sure, but then there was a lot of Capcom debacles over the last few years. A lot of Mega Man things that have been canceled. So I think a lot of people thought, fine, this sounds great. Let's have another company try and do a revival. And so I could see why people were on board.
Something. Yeah. I can definitely see that. And if that was like the case, if that was like one of the first ones to like start the hype, well then at least at the very least, like you know, we can thank them for like having other companies that may be able to do a better job reviving the genres, or maybe like the games that they once did, to get popular and to get noticed. Man, I'm still looking for the ukulele. I miss Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah, I know. I have really high hopes for it. I know a lot of people were like, I don't know. They thought it was too similar, like really trying to piggyback off the BK hype train.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I could say the same thing about Mighty Number 9, right? Like, you know what I mean? So, like, I understand that. And I agree. I even agree. But I do still hope and pray that it's great, because I want a Banjo 3E.
Yeah. Like a surefire one, not Cars. Cars, I mean, like, it wasn't even like that bad of a game. I just didn't like that they slapped Banjo on it.
Right.
I mean, if it was like some other, like, if it was like some, like, oh, we decided to make this random like car building game, and I would have been like, oh, that's awesome. If they put up Legos on it, that would have been amazing. But like, if it was Banjo though, so
yeah, it didn't really
I'm
fit.
looking forward to ukulele.
One I'm looking really forward to is Dark Souls 3.
Dark Souls 3. I saw the trailer of that, and it was gorgeous.
Yeah, that's set to release April 12, which I'm definitely excited for it. That one's coming to PC, so I can actually play it. Nice. I had to miss out on Bloodborne, unfortunately, because I don't have a PS4. So if I ever end up getting a next-gen console, I think it would be a PS4, and I think Bloodborne would be the first game I buy.
Yeah,
because I just love the Souls genre.
Yeah, one of the first games that my buddy did when my buddy bought for PS4 was Bloodborne, and I got the pleasure to play it. I didn't get to beat it because, man, that thing's out for my soul. But it is exactly how like the first Dark Souls was made. It was free to explore, a lot of crazy secrets, a lot of like the dark atmosphere mixed with like really cool colors. It just like by far is one of the most beautiful games I've seen on like a next gen console. And man, like in my college, we talk about it all the time because it's just like a shining example of what games have come to be, visually, gameplay wise, and like just the score of music and stuff like that. It's something we aspire to as game artists.
So I don't know who is developing Dark Souls 3, because I know Dark Souls 2 was a different developer, and a lot of people kind of thought of it negatively because of it compared to Dark Souls 1. I still really enjoyed Dark Souls 2, but I can see, I mean, it definitely does feel different. They kind of changed a lot. So I'm excited to see what 3 is going to look like, but I don't know if it's back to the original developers. I mean, it's still From Software, but different, sections of that company, if that makes sense. So I don't know, but I'm still excited because I still loved them regardless, and I'm excited to play it again.
I forget who made Bloodborne. Was that still From Software?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I know like From Software, like Bloodborne was essentially the spiritual successor to like the first game. Because a lot of people were like, Dark Souls 2 is not, it's not what we were expecting. We like the way that the world was laid out, how connected everything was. And they had like a hub world in like number 2, and a lot of people didn't like that because it was just like that was way too visited. They wanted to explore the world. They wanted to be able to find crazy secrets, and I don't know about the difficulty. I heard it was a little bit easier to go through than Dark Souls 1, and then like Bloodborne was just made. No, Dark Souls 2.
Oh yeah. It was for me, but only because I used like other players, like helpers.
Yeah.
They kind of make you want to use help more in 2.
Yeah.
I played through the whole first one without any help.
I think that's the same deal with Bloodborne. Actually, a lot of people use Bloodborne. Like, my buddy uses it all the time. I used to use it, but then I was like, I got frustrated because it didn't work either way. Two heads were not better than the one in that situation. We just kept both dying. So it's a game that even if you have more than one player, it's still super difficult. It's still super challenging. So you got to be both on top of your game. But even I think it's not hard enough that you can't play it by yourself. You just got to be skilled enough to go around.
So I'm excited.
It's definitely not.
I think that was. I didn't remember that was coming so soon. So I'm excited that that's coming in April. I think I'll definitely pick that.
Yeah.
Oh, April. I didn't know that.
Yeah, April 12th.
I've
Trey,
still yet to get into Dark Souls. I own Dark Souls and Bloodborne, and I want to play both. I'm a little intimidated though to get into it. I feel like I'm going to die a whole lot, and I think that's what the whole point is. But yeah, I think though that won't be that bad because that's the point of the game, and I'm fine with it.
Yeah, and as long as you're expecting it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely it's so gratifying. Like the trade-off for how hard it is how accomplishing it is when you beat it.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
Trey, what are some other ones that you're excited for?
Oh man, let's talk about a little game called The Last Guardian. That
I put it on my list too.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to talk about it.
It got re-revealed at last year's E3, and yeah, I mean I'm excited for it. I kind of want to hear about the whole development process and why it took so long, and I think a lot of it had to do with I know Yusuke Yoshida came out and said that they were developing it for the PS3, but it just wasn't running, and they're like, let's just hold it off till the PS4. And I think that might have been the whole reason why.
That's really interesting.
Yeah. It looks really cool. It's gonna be another one of those games where the mystique of it, I think, is going to trump whatever kind of game it actually is. I think it'll be a fun game. I loved Shadow of the Colossus. The controls were kind of outdated, but I love that game so much, just the scope. And it looks like a combination of Ico and Shadow of the Colossus, where there's a lot of puzzles, but it's also that climbing and, the climbing mechanic and stuff. So I'm very interested in seeing what kind of game it actually is. Because we've only seen that one demo. But, they have to have it out in 2016. I don't think they can do a pushback on this. Like, it has to come out this year.
Well, it was funny because that one was also very borderline of getting stuck in development too. Cause
yes.
That was probably longer than any of these other ones we were talking about.
I know a podcast I listened to, they said that the time span between when it was released and now, in Naughty Dog terms, one Jak and Daxter game, 3 Uncharted games, I guess 4 now, and The Last of Us all came out between the time that it was announced and released.
Yeah.
So
man.
it's been a while. It's been
crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It looks good though. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I hope it's
good.
good.
I'm not entirely sure what this game is. Is this like the successor to Colossus?
Well, it's successor to Ico and Shadow of the Colossus.
It's by the same people.
Yeah, by the same team.
Oh, okay.
Team Ico, yeah.
It's
okay. I thought it was like some other company.
Yeah.
Oh no.
The way it kind of looks to me, because you have like a friend who I guess is the Last Guardian. I assume anyway. He's like a dog bird.
Maybe that kid is the Last Guardian.
Well, yeah, who knows? I guess. But
He's
it's kind of like
dog.
Shadow of the Colossus, but if the Colossus was on your side.
yeah, exactly.
Oh,
he's a bird
nice.
dog. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like a big bird dog, exactly.
Yeah, that guy's awesome.
That's sweet.
It looks
I need to,
beautiful.
look
It looks
into
really
that.
cool.
Man, I feel
another
really out of the
shot,
loop.
new
There's a
trailer.
lot of games. These are a lot of like really cool games that I just don't know about.
Oh no.
Yeah.
This game. No,
Well, I do.
I'm
Yeah.
excited for it. Yeah.
I feel like if it was a couple more years, like it would have been too late.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I think.
it was
Yeah.
perfect.
it was just close enough still that people were like, this game, I saw this forever ago. But
Yeah.
any longer, and it would have become like memey, like, oh, this game.
It almost did. I mean, I remember reading a
Yeah.
list on Cracked where it was like just games that you're never gonna see, and it was on there. I mean, it was definitely getting that, like, you know, Star Wars 1313. It was getting that pedigree of it's just a game that died, but luckily it didn't die, and it's coming.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm excited. For me, this one's like for me like a little iffy. I was looking forward to Mario Luigi Paper Jam.
Okay.
Mainly because
Great
the whole Paper Mario aspect of it. The reason why is because
Did it come out yet?
Did it come out?
I saw a commercial.
I don't know.
I think it's coming soon.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think it's come out yet.
I was about to say I haven't heard yet that it came out, but I haven't seen like Paper Mario do anything awesome in the like RPG aspect, like the thing that kind of started the Paper Mario series, and to this day, like one of my favorite games is Paper Mario: 1,000-Year Door, and I really wanted to see like the sequels kind of like touch on that like goofy feeling, that really fun like RPG aspect to it. The story was really well done, and like the characters were lovable, they were amazing, and just after that, like it kind of like went down into this weird development cycle, like not development cycle, but really weird like game releases where it became a platformer, and then it became a really awkward RPG game, like where you can only use the attacks if you like stored up items for it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see like the old RPG Paper Mario, and I'm hoping that this game kind of delivers that a little bit, because I know Mario Luigi is a lot of fun too, the Game Boy games and stuff like that, and I had a blast playing them too. But I want to see if they kind of go back to that feeling, to that same nostalgic feel like that Paper Mario 1,000-Year Door kind of offered, and hopefully to kind of revive that and get people excited to see if they make maybe more of those. But I don't know. It's iffy.
I have a pretty limited experience with Mario and Luigi compared to Paper Mario, but from what I have played, it's great too. Yeah, it's different, but it's still really fun and really innovative. I like how you control Mario and Luigi separately and stuff. So yeah, I'm excited to see how they combine it too. I agree. I'm in the same boat where I hope it gets back that Paper Mario feel, but I don't think it'll be the same because they have Mario and Luigi too. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to it as well, though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a 3DS though, so
yeah,
I'll have to live vicariously through other people.
Another game, I guess, that I'm looking forward to. I don't think I might be in like a solo boat for this because I'm a big fan of like. I used to be a big fan of Naruto, but like the fourth installment of the Ninja Storm series is coming out, and that's the only way I used to get caught up with like the series like story and everything like that. I'm also a sucker for like cell shaded when it's done correctly, and it's a fighting game that isn't like that 2D fighting game style. It's like a free roaming fighting game, and I always thought that was really cool, really neat, and I'm excited for the fourth installment because it's also when the story gets caught up and stuff like that. So that's just on me.
I've played one of the older ones. I mean, I never watched Naruto, but it was fun.
Yeah.
So.
It's just I'm a fan. I'm a geek when it comes to that one. But I was looking forward to that one because it's just one of the only ways I get caught up with the story.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited for Star Fox Zero. I know a lot of people aren't.
Yeah.
I am.
I'm actually pretty excited.
I'm excited because my dad, he loves Star Fox. Anytime I'm like, hey Dad, let's play a video game, and he'd be like, yeah, let's play that fighter pilot game. Oh, you mean Star Fox? We'll play that. Yeah, he calls it a fighter pilot game. And so, I mean, I think in that sense, I'm excited to play it because I'll be like, hey Dad, a new Star Fox game came out. You want to play it? And I think that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, you know, it's a game that looks like it should have come out in 2000. It just doesn't look like a innovative Star Fox game, but I don't know. I'm still sort of excited for it. I think the hype is so low for it. The expectations are so low. It might be all right.
That's
we'll
true.
see.
Yeah.
Because
A lot of people
I'm excited.
are expecting
Yeah.
a really bad game with this one.
Yeah.
I've
long as there's not a lot
had
of
a very short
on-foot
history.
combat.
I have a very short history with Star Fox. Sadly, the first one I've ever played was Star Fox Adventures for the GameCube. So a lot of people I thought that was an okay game because I was like I didn't know what Star Fox was all about. So it was like a sort of free roaming game.
This is what the hype's all about.
No. And then like when I go back, I went back to like the original Star Fox 64. I was like, this is nothing like what people, what I was looking forward to. And a lot of people were just like angry, and I was like, why are people angry at this like Star Fox Adventure game? And I sorely found out like afterwards. And I think Star Fox Assault came after that, and it was kind of like the awkward mixture of both combat and like free roam at the same time. And a lot of people didn't like it because it still was just the free roam aspect of it. And then I think the new one was to kind of to get more of the original Star Fox 64 feel back.
I just hope the gamepad doesn't get in the way of the gameplay. Because I think you're supposed to shoot with the gamepad, which I find very gimmicky. I just hope that's not a big factor.
I agree, or at least something you could turn off or adjust or whatever. Mm-hmm. I also have pretty limited experience with Star Fox. I mean, I've obviously played it 64, and I've beaten it and liked it a lot. I'm not good at it, but like other people that I've talked to that are huge fans of it, like Mitch, heavy-eyed Mitch. Yeah. He's a huge Star Fox boy. And he is not looking forward to the new one. He thinks it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be, so. I think the people that have a stake in it and are really they're really hoping for that new one. I think they're feeling like they're going to be let down. But again, like you said, we don't know yet. Maybe our expectations are so low that we'll be surprised, and it's actually really great. So
yeah.
No, I love the N64 version. Like that was one of those games I played all the time, and you're never going to recapture that though. You're putting your nostalgia blinders on, and you're never going to recapture that. But if you can do that on-rail combat with a little bit of free all-range mode, and do that where it's just kind of crazy, and there's a lot of secret tunnels and secret warps and stuff like that, and you can do that and with a lot more enemies and a lot more stuff going on and sort of a new kind of style. Yeah, I think it'll be all right. But I don't know. From what we've seen, I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it looked good, but I agree that graphically it didn't look up to par of current date. But I still think it looked good. But yeah. Any others, Trey, for you?
Yeah. Let me see here. Let me kind of go down a few short ones if you don't mind.
Yeah,
I want to touch upon.
The same.
Far Cry Primal coming out February 23rd. I'm interested to see how that plays.
Is that like a spin-off or the next edition?
It's a spin-off. It's sort of like the Far Cry Red Blood Dragon. It's a prehistoric game. So you are a hunter in prehistoric times, and you're using spears instead of guns and stuff like that. It's looks interesting, The Division. I don't know if you guys are into The Division at all.
I don't know about that one.
It is a Tom Clancy post-apocalyptic. It takes place on Christmas in New York, or I think it's like that's when the apocalypse happened. And I think it's a co-op shooter, but it's like a third-person co-op. But it just the setting looks really interesting to me. I don't know if it'll be any good. Cool. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Quantum Break on the Xbox One. Are you guys interested in that at all? Quantum Break. I don't know.
I've heard a lot about that one.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't know too much, but it's one of Xbox is touting as one of their big titles this year. I've seen some gameplay. There's a lot of time travel aspects to it, so like there's going to be a time, you can like warp time back and forth in the game. Mm-hmm. Also, Adrift, that space game that looks like it's supposed to be VR. And if you want to talk about here, talk about VR. We can talk about VR because that's coming this year.
Yeah, if you're, I don't. Do you have any others that you really wanted to hit, Bladed?
I think like there's only like a few. Just the only like big triple A game that I really like to see is Gears of War. I had like a big,
Yeah,
like I'm a huge fan of that that game, and it's like coming out the fourth installment, which is weird because the third game pretty much ended it. But so I want to see what kind of like what they're touching on there. But another one I guess just a really short one is Indivisible. I don't know if it's coming out this year, but it's like the same people that made Skullgirls making an RPG game. And
That's right.
Like I love the art style. It looks amazing. I love
it
like
barely
the RPG.
made its goal.
Yeah. But I'm hoping like it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting. I really like the way they kind of took it. There's like gameplay demos and stuff like that out already, and people got to play it. So what I saw was pretty interesting and really cool. So I'm hoping that
it looked great and definitely art style,
really cool.
like what you were saying.
Yeah,
really good art style.
They're great artists over that and on that team.
I think I would like to mention 3 if we're going to go into the VR and then be done.
I was gonna say my point. Yeah. So now, let's end with that. Let's talk about what do you think VR will play in the future of this year.
Man, I think I think it's a niche. It's going to be a niche thing for the Oculus, because it's so expensive right now.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to appeal to the mass market like the Wii did. But I think PS4 might, if they can get it low enough, like around 300, 400, I think they could tap into that more mainstream market. And I think that they said that it's not as high quality as the Oculus. Like they've said, like it's a little cheaper to make. So maybe we will get that. I think if they package it with No Man's Sky, I think that might be big for them. Like if they say No Man's Sky is VR, I think that would be huge. You got like Mass Effect and Horizon coming out this year too. That could, appeal to that kind of VR. Any kind of space game does great in VR, I think. Like that's just
because there are the alternatives. It's not just Oculus like it looked like a few years ago.
Yeah.
Oculus is the one, but now there's definitely alternatives. And you're right about No Man's Sky. That's a good call. That was one that I had on my list, a short one to talk about. But man, if they combine that, you're right. That'd be a perfect seller.
It would be amazing.
Yeah.
I think it's, I've not played it. I really want to get my hands on it before I think about a purchase VR. But I think it's going to be big. But I think what I like is that the companies who are making these VR systems, they know it's not like motion controls where, hey, this is the gimmick and this is the cool thing and it's fun. They're kind of like, hey, we know this is going to be big. We know this is going to change the way video games are played. We don't really care about making a profit right now. We will down the road but right now we just want to get these things out. And I think that's sort of the mind frame they have right now. And so I think that's a little encouraging, I think. Just sort of like, hey, we believe in this product. We just want to get it out. We're making enough money. We don't have to worry about it. We can just put these out. So, very interested to see how that turns out.
Yeah, for sure. Like VR is definitely one of those things that right now, as of now, the reason why it's not as big and popular is because it's just way too pricey for people to invest in. Or like not like companies, but like people, like the regular consumer. Like I think the last time I checked, the Oculus Rift was like maybe $250 to $300 just for the developer's kit, and that's like an attachment along with your computer. So you would need the computer as well.
Yeah.
A pretty good running one because I think it runs games at like 72 frames per second to like mimic the feeling of real life.
Wow.
And I think it's just like people don't have like the type of equipment to fully realize, or like fully utilize the capabilities of these VR systems. So I think once the technology becomes affordable and more mainstream, I think it'll hit it off. It's really cool idea and really cool concept because it captures feelings like as if you're actually experiencing these things in person. And I think people just want more, like, you know, the idea of realism and the idea of experience. You know, people can experience like maybe the feeling of flight. People can experience a feeling of like falling or like flying in these great like crazy environments just by like using this technology and not actually doing it. So it's probably a really cool idea, and I'm hoping that it hits off and really cool technology comes from it.
More people need to see too that it is really good and realistic. Like, I think the normal consumer hears virtual reality and they think like early 90s, 80s even, you know, giant things in arcades where they're on your head and you're turning around. Like, they think, oh, like that stupid gimmick that died in the 80s. And so more people need to see that how much better it is now and how it's improved and how realistic it is before they take it seriously.
Also, they assume, oh, it's just on your head and you're just kind of watching a movie, where it's you're moving around and you are in this world, and you have the headphones on, so you're totally encased in this world. I think also what they're gonna have to do is just put kiosks up. Like, they're gonna have to seriously put a lot of money in getting these things out into the general population. And that's gonna be tough.
That's for sure.
Because you can't really demo it.
It's a product that you really need to you can't just see videos for it and people are just like, it's something you have to experience for yourself, for sure. And I think it's one of those things that at least the biggest problem right now when it comes to immersion is the amount of wires you need for this thing to function properly. So I think hopefully, as it gets more popular, they'll be finding ways to kind of make it even wireless, or make all the wiring as finite as possible to still get the same experience. Because a lot of that stuff is expensive equipment needing to go into the proper media, and then once they do that, then you can get the full experience, and then the frame rate won't drop as often and stuff like that.
That's why I think the PSVR probably has the better chance of being the more successful of it, even though it's the lesser product. It's it does come with a little processor, I think, but it does have the PS4 and it has PS4 controller, and you already have everything you need. You just have the VR headset. But so I think with that, it's more a unified program, whereas the the Oculus, you got to have a right computer, you got to have the settings this way, you got to you don't know if this is going to work on that system and stuff like that. So I think PSVR, depending on the price, I'm hearing it's going to be expensive, but I'm hoping that it will be a little more affordable, because already I'm like, I can't do Oculus, but man, if PS4 or if the PSVR is $300, I'd totally drop that money on for that.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see innovative technology like that kind of becoming more commercial, but.
Yeah, and it's just like anything, computers back in the 80s, and game systems were a lot more expensive, and even think of the iPhone, the first iPhone, till now, it all gets cheaper and it all improves, and it's probably not a good idea to be an early adopter of this. You probably wait a few years and the price goes down, the quality goes up.
So it might play a bigger role come 2017 more than 2016.
Yes, probably.
Yeah, more than anything else. Yeah. It might more be a more relevant thing by that point, but it's definitely trying to have a start in it in 2016.
Yeah.
They already got VR porn though now. They are selling that. The little Samsung system. There's an article about VR porn. So that's a thing.
Any other?
Cool. Oh, I'm sorry.
Any other closing thoughts on the year of 2016 in gaming? Will it be the best year in gaming yet?
I think last year was pretty good.
Yeah, I was about to say last year was pretty cool because there's a lot of sleeper hits. There was a lot of different ones that didn't get into people's radar until the very last minute when they released, and then they exploded. Yeah. So I'm hoping maybe more games like that will come up.
I think last year was was probably the best game of this best year of this generation so far. I think it had to be the best year of this generation so far.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be, because interesting thing about this year is like last year was a lot of sequels. You know, it was Fallout 4 and Batman Arkham City and The Witcher 3 and Metal Gear 5. But this year it's a lot of just unknowns. No Man's Sky and a lot of new properties and games. So that's going to be very interesting to see. Like, I'm kind of more excited about this year because we don't know what these games are going to be like. I'm all for new franchises and new ideas and new games. So it's like Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm really excited to see what that brings, and it's going to be an interesting year. I hope it'll be better than last year, but it's definitely going to be one. I think it's going to be more. It's going to be more interesting than last year, maybe.
Yeah.
I think at least
it definitely holds a lot of promise, but there's a lot of,
we don't know exactly what these games are, as we kind of did last year. So
yeah, that's a very good point. A lot of new properties.
Yeah,
and I like what Bladed said. That's true. I bet we'll see more big surprises that we weren't expecting come out and surprise us, because 2015 was full of that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
so
totally.
Hopefully we get to see some new. It's one of the best things about those surprises because they have no hype to them, so they really catch us out of nowhere.
Yeah,
that's true.
So I'm hoping for more.
Yeah.
Red Dead 2, 2016, 27. Yeah.
Thank you guys both for being on. It was a blast to have you. Thanks for talking with me about 2016.
Yeah, thanks for having us on, man.
Thank you very much for having us on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll have to see how the year stacks up. We'll look back on this a year later and say, were we right?
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So hopefully we were right. Hopefully
haircut
maybe
bet.
some things we were wrong.
Haircut bet.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you guys for listening to the first snoCast of the new year. I appreciate you guys very much. If you ever have ideas for future topics of the snoCast, you can put those in the comments below, and we'll take those into consideration. And we'll see you next time. New guest, new topic. Who knows what it's going to be? But thank you one last time to my guests, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.